If you're still Googling best first luxury watch, stop. You're about to walk straight into the same trap 90% of new collectors fall for. Rolex Submariner, Omega Speedmaster, Tudor Black Bay, Tag Heuer Aqua Racer, Cartier Santos. They're everywhere for a reason. And that's the problem. When everyone wears the same entry-level flex, it stops being a flex. So in this video, I'm going to show you 10 watches that aren't on the usual hype list, but they still earn respect from real collectors when you walk into the room. Better specs, better value, and just better stories. And let's start with one of the most affordable options that no one really talks about. At 1, we have the Breitling Colt, ref A74380. Now this is your get in the door Swiss luxury watch, and it's still hiding in plain sight. I mean, here's the thing. Most guys start out wanting a Submariner because that's what they see on Instagram. But the Breitling Colt is the quiet operator's pick, and much more affordable. Originally built for military use, the Colt gives you that classic brushed Breitling look, a COSC certified quartz movement, and a legit 200 meters of water resistance. But here's the part most people miss. You can find a clean, full set Colt for under $2,000, which is just wild in today's market. If you want a first luxury watch that's masculine, under the radar, and won't ever look like you're trying too hard, then this is where you start. At 2, we have the Omega Seamaster Quartz, ref 2542.80. I'll be real with you, this was my very first true luxury watch. And look at the trajectory it set me on. I bought mine for $924, wore it everywhere, and eventually sold it. And honestly, I still think about buying it back. I mean, Asher, last time I talked to you, you mentioned you had passed it on to your brother, but if you guys ever decide to let it go, I'm here. Seriously. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't the Omega Seamaster kind of basic? Yeah, that's the automatic bond Seamaster everyone chases. But here's the inside scoop. This is the last generation of the quartz Seamasters with a steel bezel, and for me, steel bezels just hit different. They're tougher, they age better, and they give the watch the classic tool watch vibe you don't get with modern ceramic versions. Thinner, cleaner, and way more comfortable than anything Omega's putting out now. It's a legit daily beater. And let's talk real cost of ownership. Omega automatic service, easily $600 or more. The quartz, a $30 battery swap and you're back on the wrist. No drama. And if you want the bond connection, the 2541.80 sibling was literally Pierce Brosnan's GoldenEye watch. So if you want your first luxury watch to actually mean something, and to be a piece you can wear every single day without worrying about service bills, skip the hype, get the quartz. Trust me, I still regret letting mine go. At 3, we have Tag Heuer Carrera skeleton chronographs. Tag Heuer Carreras were all the flex in the 90s. I mean, remember Wolf of Wall Street? Jordan Belfort was rocking a tag for a reason. Most people sleep on these now and they think of them as mall brands. But skeleton Carreras like the Batman Skeleton CBG2A1Z are some of the best values under 5K. I mean, these aren't the tourbillon models, but you still get that full skeleton dial, modern ergonomic and wrist presence that gets respect from anyone who knows. Here's the real deal. Tags like this were watches every fast-talking executive and trader wore back in the day, and they're only just starting to come back. You want sporty, open-worked, and different? Grab one of these before everybody else catches on. And that brings me to number 4, Frank Muller Vanguard. Frank Muller isn't the first name most new collectors think of, but the Vanguard will make you rethink that fast. This case is big, curved, and hugs on the wrist. If you've never tried one on, you owe it to yourself. Those textured numerals, they pop. Feels like a 12K watch for half the price or less. And if you dig deeper, you'll find Frank Muller's skeleton models around 5 to 7K that are just nuts for the money. If you're tired of seeing the same old round Swiss cases and want to feel powerful every time you check your wrist, the Vanguard's your answer. At 5, we have the Grand Seiko Elegance Collection Skyflake, the SPGA 407. Grand Seiko is what happens when you skip all of the hype and nonsense and focus on one thing, craft. The Elegance Collection, specifically the Skyflake, and more popular Snowflake, are famous among collectors for a reason. You're getting dials that are hand-finished, spring drive movements with the smoothest sweep in the business, and details that embarrass most Swiss pieces at twice the price. These usually only go for $3,800 to $5,200, and every time I've put one on a client, they're blown away. I mean, one time, I lent a Skyflake to a friend for his wedding, and it looked so good I almost didn't want to take it back. These are not the watches you buy to impress strangers. You buy these because you want a piece of art on your wrist. If you care about finishing, dial texture, and tech, you won't find a better piece for the price. Grand Seiko is the insider's move. At 6, we have the Tudor Black Bay 58, Smiley, reference 79030R. I know what you're thinking. Wait, Didn't you just call out the Tudor Black Bay as one of those watches everyone buys? Yeah, I did. But here's where you separate the hype from real collector knowledge. See, this isn't the Black Bay 58 everyone's wearing. This is the Smiley. The Black Bay 58 with the ETA movement only produced for a single year in 2018. You can spot it by the curved rotor self-winding text in the dial. That's your Easter egg. These are way easier and cheaper to service than the in-house models, and most people have no clue how scarce they are. Everyone's chasing the new Black Bay 58, but this is the version that makes seasoned collectors stop you and say, wait, how did you find that? This is the kind of piece that'll only get harder to find once more respected buyers, and as time continues to catch on. At lucky number 7, we have the Panerai Luminor Marina GMT Ghost, the PAM 237. Now here's a Panerai you'll almost never see in the wild. The Luminor Marina GMT Ghost only had 400 of these made, and that was all the way back in 2005. It's not even in the official Panerai catalog. There's even a rumor it was created for Brad Pitt, but who knows if that's true. I've actually owned 2 of these myself and sourced another for a client. Panerai is a brand I have a soft spot for. In fact, if you watch my videos, you'll see me wearing my gold PAM 140 all the time. What makes it special? Well, for starters, you get a stealth blacked out subdial, a GMT function, and a case that wears slimmer than most Panerais. The real kicker? This watch was made before Panerai lost their way and started chasing mainstream trends. Back in 2005, they were still making tool watches with real military roots, not just fashion statements. If you want a Panerai that's all about exclusivity, off-the-record stories, and legit military cred, the Ghost is it. At number 8 are what I think are some of the best entry-level dress watches, the Breitling Navitimer 43. You get more than just classic pilot DNA here. The Navitimer was never built just to look like a tool watch. It is a tool watch. This is a piece that was designed for actual pilots, not just people who want to buy. The slide rule bezel isn't just a gimmick, it's functional. And when you get hands-on, you realize these are some of the most tactile, satisfying bezels in the business. It just feels purposeful. Big dial, slim case, and serious presence on the wrist. And you're getting legit military history here. The Navitimer line goes all the way back to 1952. You want a watch you'll actually grow into, not out of? This is it. These Navitimers deliver on function, form, and heritage all in one. And that brings me to number 9, the IWC Pilot's Watch Top Gun IW389101. This isn't stainless steel or some basic black coating. This is full ceramic case, nearly scratch-proof, anti-magnetic, lightweight, and built to take abuse. These watches aren't just catalog fillers. They're actually issued to real squadrons also, and that pedigree comes through the second you put one on. The black ceramic Top Gun Chrono just has that presence. Whether it's the standard model, the SFTI, or one of the special editions, these watches stand out in a sea of desk pilot watches. It's a watch you could actually wear in a cockpit, but it doesn't look out of place in a boardroom. If you want a modern tool watch that's more than just a vibe, Top Gun's a no-brainer. And that brings us to number 10, the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 36mm 114300, especially if it has a vintage linen dial. If you buy smart, you can find clean older OPs for $2 to $3 grand, and even with box and papers, you're usually still under $5K. Here's where you can really win. Look for the linen dials, engine turn bezels, or those quirky micro variations. The linen dial, it's just got a texture that just screams old school Rolex, and nobody else at the table is likely to have one. The OP is classic, understated, and perfect for marking any kind of occasion. It's not just a great entry-level piece to buy for yourself, but honestly, it's the perfect entry-level gift to give someone else, especially for a major life milestone. You want your first Rolex to actually be a Rolex and not just a status badge? Start here. You'll never regret it. I couldn't help myself. I have 3 honorable mentions that I felt would go beautifully at the end of this video. So the first honorable mention is the Mont Blanc Heritage Chronometer Perpetual Calendar. And this Mont Blanc launched with an MSRP around $13,000, already a fraction of what most perpetuals cost new. But for under $5 grand, you get a genuine perpetual calendar, full gold case, elegant dress watch vibes, and a movement that keeps track of the date, day, month, and year, all the way up until 2100. Next, we have the Zenith Defy El Primero 21. Zenith was the first to build a fully integrated automatic chronograph movement. The chronograph hand makes a full sweep in 1 second. It's wild to see in action, and you won't find that kind of movement anywhere else at this price. If you want a brand where you get history, innovation, and just a ton of watchmaking for your money, Zenith should absolutely be on your radar. And now the last honorable mention is the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch. Speedmasters, especially the Sapphire Sandwich, are shockingly comfortable. The proportions are spot on, the manual wind feels perfect, the case sits flat, and after all these years, I genuinely don't know a single thing I would change about this watch. You want an entry-level piece that you'll actually never outgrow? This is it. If you've made it this far, here's what I'll say. The worst thing you can do as a new collector is wait too long, get overwhelmed by hype, buy something you outgrow in 6 months. So don't just watch this and move on. WhatsApp, text, or call me directly at 571-423-6270. Yes, this is my real number. I'll help you find the right piece, the right price from trusted sources. And if you're a first-time buyer, you'll get a little something extra when you message the word YouTube. Or if you just want to browse what's currently available, check the website at theartoftime.com. I update inventory weekly. And whatever route you take, don't collect for status, collect for story. I'll see you in the next one.